Okay, let's make sure everything's working. Okay, let's make sure everything's working. All right, guys. It's your boy Malin back after a week-long absence. I'll do a short explanation for why I didn't stream this past week. It's because, well, I didn't get both of my off days in a row. They were split because of election coverage when it came to work. But hey, got a full weekend here. I'm super duper tired. I don't know because I went out. I went out last night and had something I had to take care of this morning, so I had to set an alarm to get up early on my off day. But it is what it is. I'm here to rebuild this disaster of a team, the Dallas Cowboys. It is time to really get serious about rebuilding this team. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, yes, you see it right there on the right-hand side. Cooper Rush is our starting quarterback. Now, here's the thing. The update didn't have Dak Prescott on IR because here's the thing. In real life, he is not on injured reserve for that torn hamstring, but more than likely he's out for the season. So we're going to go ahead and just have Cooper Rush be the guy for the rest of the year. I may play Trey Lance a little bit at times this year, depending on if I want to give him a shot, but Cooper Rush is going to be our starter moving forward. As far as running backs, I'm giving Rico Dowdle the starting job. Zeke is still going to be like a third down back in certain situations, but Rico is flat out better. His overall is better, and I think he's a better option to go with for the back half of the season. Fullback is still going to be Hunter Lipke. Wide receiver-wise, we got the new guy, Jonathan Mingo, is on the roster right now, 73 overall. First time seeing him on the Cowboys roster after the trade. Not a fan of it. Fourth-round pick, gone. And it becomes him. And look at this. He's the fourth best receiver on the team. He's even rated lower than Kevontae Turpin. That's trouble. But anyway, so that's our receiver. We got, regular tight ends, Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Zach Martin, in what could be his final season, I don't know. Right tackle, we still have Terrence Steele. Left end for the rest of the season is going to be Carl Lawson. Right end for the rest of the year is actually going to be Dante Stills, who I actually got in a trade by trading away Chauncey Goldstein. I traded him to get Dante Stills. But the reason I wanted Stills, because there were some better players that were offered in the trade. There were some running backs, but I actually went with the trade to get Dante Stills from the Cardinals because they had a bunch of draft picks they wanted to offer in 2026. I know that's another off season down the line, but I figured, hey, let's stack up some of those draft picks and really get some draft capital that we can use in next year's draft after this one. Defensive tackles, Osa Diazua. We still got Mozzie Smith and Joseph. Parsons, off the injury. He's ready to go. Eric Kendricks. Clark is actually playing better than LaFau, so I'm going to actually give him to start the rest of the year. Deron Bland is back off of IR. So I start in other franchise that I've started, he was already on IR, but he's off IR. 90 overall corner. That'll make a difference for us on defense if we want to make a couple of plays at the end of the season. But we got Deron Bland and we got Trayvon Diggs. We finally have our cornerback tandem healthy. And who knows? In real life, I don't know when Deron Bland's going to come back. Maybe it'll be in the next couple of weeks. Maybe on Thanksgiving Day against the Giants in real life. But Deron Bland is off IR. He's back. We got our cornerback tandem ready to go, along with the rookie Kalen Carson. This is actually looking a bit more promising moving forward with these three guys because Carson is up to a 76 as a rookie. We got an 88 Diggs and we got a 90 Bland. There's some things to build around with this team, and there's some things to improve. I don't know if it includes guys like Malik Hooker, though, or Donovan Wilson. Marquise Bell could be the guy that we look to as the starter and strong safety for this, and he fits the scheme better. Aubrey and Anger. So that is our roster for this season. I'm benching Dak the rest of the season to basically simulate him being out for the rest of the year. I had to force wins and losses behind the scenes to ensure that the Cowboys were 3-6 at this point of the season. Unlike in real life, the Eagles actually are leading the NFC East. I couldn't really force too much extra behind the scenes. So basically, we are still not in the basement. The Giants are in the basement at 2-8 right now, which pretty much reflects their record in real life because they lost to the Carolina Panthers yesterday in that Germany game. So, yeah, we are third place in the NFC East. I honestly don't even want playoffs this year because we need to rebuild this team. And I really think that, and here's one thing I'm going to actually show you guys is that the players ready to negotiate. because unlike I've done in past rebuilds, I really think I'm going to be looking to move on from a lot of these guys because we only have right now $44 million in cap space. That's not a lot to work with. So I think the best thing that we're going to do is we're just going to really maybe barely bring any of these guys back. Look, DeMarcus Lawrence is 32 years old. He's an 89 defensive end, and that's tough to come by. But I think it's just going to be a deal where I think I want to go through more of a real lengthy rebuild with the Cowboys, not try to get them back into Super Bowl contention right off the bat in 2025. More so try to get some young guys through the draft, maybe some cheaper guys in free agency, and really just see what I can do. And I really want to create some more cap space in the next few years, so that way maybe when free agency is better for us, we have more money to spend. And if I don't spend money on Odigizua and Lawrence, I potentially could have some money to actually legitimately do some moves in the offseason that could really help us. Now, Zach Martin, though, I do want to bring him back. But I'm actually not going to do any of this until after the season because he could very well retire. So I don't want to do anything with him yet. We would get that money back, of course, but I don't want to do anything quite yet. Brandon Cooks is on his way out, especially with us trading for Jonathan Mingo. Mingo, I don't know how much he will be in the long-term plans, to be honest. I know he still has a few more years left on his contract. Maybe he'll be the third receiver to go along with Jalen Tolbert, who's still going to be here for a couple more years. And I think we're just going to get younger at receiver. Now, Marquise Bell is pretty interesting. We do have Donovan Wilson still here as our safety who we signed and everything. But you know what? I'm honestly almost in the camp of keeping guys that actually fit our scheme and getting rid of guys that don't. Bell would be good to keep for depth, but I don't know. Let's see if this neutral deal is enough to keep. You need to do more convincing than that. All right, well, I'm not going to break the house for him. And a lot of these guys are actually not too happy, to be honest. Rico Dowdle, I think, just for the sake of keeping consistency at running backs, maybe a 3-year deal he would take. Let's see if he'll take this. Need a bigger offer. Okay, of course you do. Well, look, I'm not going to break the bank on these guys. I'm just not going to do it. Zeke, I'm going to let you go. Jordan Lewis, I'm going to let you go. McQuamu, I'm going to let you go. Turpin, let me see if I can get him here on a neutral deal. Something cheap. Happy to sign. Okay, well, that's $33 million still left. I just wanted to keep Turpin for depth. That corner that we traded for, he's not coming back. I think a lot of these guys I'm just willing to let walk. Same thing with Cooper Rush, even though he's technically our starting quarterback as of right now. I don't really think any of these guys are worth bringing back. Not even C.J. Goodwin, even though he's mostly a special teams player. I'm see if I can keep Brian Anger here for one more year. All right, so good. We got Brian Anger. So I'm going to wait until after the season to see if Zach Martin retires. I think I'll come back to the rest of these guys, see if I want to keep any of them. I would kind of like to keep Rico Dowdle as a backup running back option, and we'll definitely take the 5th-year option on Tyler Smith. He's done well as our left guard, 87 overall. Young guy, still plenty of years left in the tank. I think it's worth investing in him for sure. But I want to try to save some money where I can. Now, once we get into the offseason, which y'all got to stick around for that, we're going to get a little bit crazy here. And y'all will find out soon. But y'all, I don't know what I can get, and I don't even know if it's possible because it'll probably put every team over the salary cap based on his contract. But this offseason, kind of like I did in Madden 24, life after Dak. That's right. We are going to trade Dak Prescott in the offseason. Trade clause, no trade clause, doesn't matter. It is time for us to rebuild. Now, I will say this. I do plan on keeping some of our really, really talented players. Like, okay, Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb are in the 90s club. Guys that are in the 90s, like Bland and Lamb and Parsons, we're going to be building around those guys. Diggs may not be in the 90s club, but he is still worth building around because we've got a good cornerback tandem for years to come, and they stay healthy, we're going to be in fantastic shape. But we got to get some of these big contract numbers off the books. I mean, seriously, we need to get some of this money out of our wallet so that way we can finally actually do something during free agency. Maybe not this offseason as much, but the next one, we'll see. Now, if we trade Dak Prescott, there's a couple of things I'm thinking about. First of all, if we end up having a season where maybe we only win 2 more games, being at 3-6 right now, we're going to have a pretty high draft pick. So we may get a legitimate chance to draft one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. And also, so that's what I'm thinking. We do need a running back. Now, if there's somebody in free agency we can get, cool. But running back, I still think I may be investing in the draft as well. Now, one thing I'm thinking about is this. If we find a way to trade Dak Prescott before the draft, we could potentially have a top pick because we were already so bad, and we can maybe get another first-round pick for trading away Dak Prescott to another team. Because I feel like some team out there is going to be willing to take him. Because, if they look at his overall when it comes to the Madden universe, it's pretty good. But it's time to rebuild. And that's what this is. This is a Cowboys rebuild. I know it is unrealistic with trading Dak Prescott because he doesn't have a trade clause in his contract or anything like that. I shouldn't say that. It's a non-trade clause or something like that. And that is true. I looked it up. It is true. Dak in real life has a no trade clause in his contract. So the Cowboys are stuck with him. But I really want to get a different quarterback in here. Now, if we don't like anybody maybe that we see in the draft, or we just don't find a scenario we can pick a quarterback, there may be a quarterback in free agency that may be available. Maybe somebody like a Sam Darnold as a stopgap guy. Maybe we draft a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round, groom them. Maybe we just get a bunch of skill position players around a bus driver quarterback, and we try to rebuild that way. They may be dumb, stupid, I don't know. There's a lot of different scenarios that I can go with. The bottom line is this. I'm gonna start to cleanse this team of all of this money that they keep spending and not allowing themselves to spend money in other ways, because that is ridiculous and everything like that. Okay, then. So we're playing our next game against the Texans. It's the first game where I haven't forced wins or anything like that. I actually plan on playing the Giants game because it's Thanksgiving, and it may be the best chance we have to win another game. So we get an upset win over the Texans with Cooper Rush at quarterback. So maybe we've got something a little bit here. I want to take a look and see what happened in this game and see how in the world we beat the Texans. Player stats. So Cooper Rush actually played very well in this game. He had 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He played better than Stroud. As far as running, Rico, 67 yards. We had no touchdowns in the running game. We actually had Jake Ferguson lead us in receiving, but CeeDee Lamb had 2 touchdowns. Rico had 1 receiving. So, surprisingly enough, Cooper Rush actually didn't look too bad in his second start as our new quarterback for this season. And I made the depth chart so that way Trey Lance is the backup. So if for some reason Cooper Rush gets hurt, Trey Lance is the first guy to go in. It's not Dak Prescott. Well, we're playing the Commanders this week. Obviously, this is a game where if we get on a little bit of a crazy winning streak, despite the fact that we're playing with our backup quarterback right now, who knows? But we'll see. So let's simulate this game against Washington. Don't know if we'll get an upset win here. And we get a... So, wow, even in the sim without Dak Prescott, this team still wins. I think it has to do with the defense finally getting healthy and being a little bit better, but still. I could be wrong about that. Although, even despite all of this, we're still the 11th seed in the NFC. It would be really tough for us to make the playoffs. Realistically, I don't think that we're going to be able to get enough ground underneath us in order to do that. So, we'll see. Well, since we're actually winning games, I'm actually not going to play this game against the Giants, even though it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to go ahead and simulate through this game as well. The Giants are pretty bad, but we get blown out on Thanksgiving by the Giants. Wow, we lose 41-14. Okay, so looks like we kind of crashed back down to earth. I want to see, can I see kind of what happened in this game? I want to see kind of the box score of this Giants game. Like, how bad really was it? Were we, like, not even competitive in this game? So it looks like that Daniel Jones outperformed Cooper Rush in terms of quarterback rating. Rush, although, actually, no. Well, I don't know if I can say that. I mean, Rush threw for 194 yards off, but he threw 4 interceptions. So Cooper Rush didn't play well in this game. Running-wise, Singletary outran everybody, including his own quarterback. Dowd only had 23 yards. Zeke only had 15. Yeah. Receiving-wise, CeeDee Lamb had 58 yards. We had 2 receiving touchdowns from Jalen Tolbert, actually. He had the only 2 touchdowns. So looks like this is a game where Cooper Rush finally played back down to earth after playing a little bit above his head for the last few weeks. So looks like that's kind of what happened here. All right, so the Bengals are 9-3. They're better this year than they are. They're better in this simulation than they actually are in real life. I don't think this will be a win. We got the Carolina Panthers the next week, though. We get blown out by the Bengals, so now we're starting to look like the real Cowboys of, tanking, which I think they really should do. We're now the 12th seed in the NFC. We're nowhere in the playoff picture. It's not even worth looking up to see where we are. But, wow, we've surrendered 40 or more points in the last 2 games. So the defense, it looks like, is finally starting to crack a little bit. Not surprising. Let me see if we actually have any new injuries. Do we have? Did Micah get banged up or something? Let's see if I can. Let's see. Wanye Thomas is hurt, but I don't think that would make a big impact for the defense. So yeah. Another reason I'm okay with letting DeMarcus Lawrence go is because Sam Williams is going to come back off the torn ACL next season, and he may have some development still in front of him. So that's why I'm thinking that it's okay for us to lose out on Tank and get younger at the defensive end positions. And, Carl Lawson is not somebody who's going to be here next year. He's a 1-year rental free agent. He was brought in as a stopgap guy, bridge player, mentor, whatever you want to call him. He's not going to come back next year. All right, well, the Panthers are actually doing way better this season than they are in real life. They're 6-7. We're 5-8. This is going to be definitely one of those games where hopefully, we do okay. Well, we lose to the Panthers by 3, so we are now 5-9. No shot at the playoffs at this point, but you know what? We still have 3 games left in the season. Playing the Bucks, they're actually pretty bad this year. They're 3-11, but we lose to the Bucks. So now so it looks like we could be on the verge of finishing, 5-12, 6-11. So looks like that's what we're headed towards. Obviously, no Dak, and it shows. Eagles week. And we get swept by the Eagles this season, and we lost badly. We lost by 18 points to Philadelphia. So now we're 5-11. Got one more game to play against the Commanders. They are the 3rd seed in the NFC right now. They're leading the NFC East. We actually got a chance to play a little bit of spoiler here. If we beat them and Philadelphia wins their game, I assume it's against the Giants. The Eagles may win the NFC East. So we might be doing the Eagles a favor if we win this game against Washington and find a way to get it done. Let me actually take a look at kind of the season stats and see kind of how Cooper Rush is compared with Dak Prescott. Well, Dak is still leading us in every category. Rush is catching up in terms of the yardage. He actually has the same amount of completions as Dak. Okay. Rush has thrown 16 touchdowns, but he's thrown 12 picks. I mean, it makes sense. This guy's overall is in the 60s, so he's going to throw bad passes. Running-wise, running the football this season, we're not even going to have a guy get well over 500 yards. Zeke has been the leader in rushing yards. Dowdle is starting to catch up to him. He leads in rushing touchdowns with 5 of them. Receiving-wise, CeeDee Lamb, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Maybe headed for a Pro Bowl season? I don't know. I mean, if he goes off in this game, maybe he's averaging 13 yards per catch, as well as Jonathan Mingo. So, wow. Jonathan Mingo, well, then again, I mean, we started this franchise where we had him the whole season, technically. So, Mingo is 767 yards, 6 touchdowns. So Mingo might be the answer moving forward for the second receiver behind Lamb. We might not need to look at free agency for another receiver to go alongside him, which all means that Brandon Cooks is toast. He hasn't even played this season because he's been on IR, even though technically he could come back in real life, but whatever. All right, defensively. So the guy who's leading us in tackles is Eric Kendricks, which is not the best sign if your middle linebacker is the one to lead you in tackles. The guy leading us in sacks is the Lion. Micah Parsons has 8 sacks on the season, but Odigizua has 6 of them, so that's not bad. What about interceptions? Who's leading us in picks? Kendricks is leading us in interceptions. Overshone has 2. So our cornerback tandem of Diggs and Bland only have 2 interceptions combined. Jordan Lewis has 2 of them. So he's playing better than Diggs and Bland, it looks like. So I don't know about that, but and Diggs is second in tackles with 65, but it's not a good sign when your top corner is one of your top corners leading you in tackles with 65 of them. So defense, yeah. We need help on the edge. We need help in the middle. We need help everywhere on that defense because this defense is hot garbage. There's no question about that. Okay. Well, I'm going to play this last game of the regular season because we are playing our rivals at home. We're going to be facing off against the Commanders. We could play spoiler in this game if we beat them. Could put the Eagles in the driver's seat of the NFC East. So that is what we are looking to do here. And to get a win to wrap up the season with our backups on galore.
It's week 18 of the 2025 season.
See if we can get a win.
And we've got CD Lamb. He should be one of his quarterback's best friends this week. It's the Cowboys and the Commanders.
Going up against the rookie sensation Jalen Daniels and Washington, who's vying for a playoff spot, led by our former defensive coordinator, Mr. Dan Quinn. We'll see. You got Kate Scott and Brock Heward out here on the call. That's always fun. So here we go. We're on offense for the first time today. Looks like we got to stop on defense, but we got backed up. We were at the 4-yard line. There we go, Zeke. Not much there for Zeke. Good thing is that it looks like we have our starters out there. We don't have like that glitch where all the backups get shoved in the lineup and everything. So it looks like that glitch is not coming back, so that's good. Rico Dowdle on the carry, only gains a few yards. I'm going to have to throw it here. I know it's on the 7, but got to throw it to try to get this first down. As long as we're out here, we're still going to try to play. All right, there you go, Tolbert. Nice grab. There we go. Make a move inside. First down. Good. All right. These drives are going to be weird on offense with 66 overall QB, basically. But there we go. Big hole for Dowdle. There we go. Run the football a little bit, take some of the pressure off of our backup QB, and make him feel comfortable.
Ball at the 33 for first down.
There we go. Come on.
Back-to-back carries here. And he drives that front backward on a gain of 4.
He'll expect more from himself on those type of plays, but there is nobody that's going to complain about that one. If you can do math, 4 + 4 + 4 equals a first down.
Oh, that was a bad throw. That was terrible. That was just waiting to be picked.
Just a harmless incompletion. It's
I wanted to hit Schoonmaker, but he was well covered, so I was looking for the other guy because it was a bootleg play, and I was trying to hit him. All right, come on, Lamb. This is where we need you. This is where we need you. Yes! Good catch by CD. First down. Let's go. First catch of the game. Let's go.
All set up now for first and
That's what the doctor ordered. When in doubt, look for 88. I don't care who's throwing passes. Pocket collapse. I should have just run it with Cooper, but couldn't quite get away from the defense there. This quarter's kind of died pretty quickly, to be honest.
Another try following the sack.
There you go, Mingo.
Right,
the former Carolina Panther makes his first catch since I played with him.
Getting up to end that play. Driving dire straits. It's 3rd and 9. To the air with Rush.
Come on, Tolbert. Come on. That grab. That first. Let's go. All right, we got a good drive going here. It's almost the end of the first quarter. Let's keep this going.
Still on the move.
I want 7. I'm tired of this offense. Like, well, every time I turn on the TV, I am so sick of whether it's Prescott or Rush leading this offense to nothing but field goals. And Lamb is in for 6. Let's go. Great way to start the game. Beautiful. Good throw by Cooper Rush, too. Good throw there. All right, defense. Come on. 3rd down and 15. Get off this field.
No connection on the last play, and now 3rd down.
Get home, Lion. Get home, get home, get home. Okay, we got pressure. Oh, there we go. Make him throw it away. Nice job. Who was that on the... That was Mozzie Smith that came in, actually. So that was good. Good pressure right there. Okay, we got a chance to go 2 minutes here. We got all 3 timeouts.
Markers reset. Ball at the 37.
Wow. I don't think now's the time to get too conservative. I'm gonna throw this thing. Just run, Cooper. Just run. Just run. Just get out of bounds. Get out of bounds. There we go. Okay.
And he goes out close to that 45-yard line. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. From the 43.
All right, get open, Tolbert. There we go. You're open. You're open. You're open. Let's call a timeout. Reset the offense. All right, corners. Yeah, let's go corners. If I can get Lamb on the outside on the left. Huge.
Here's Rush to throw.
Come on, corner strike. Come on, Lamb. Come on. He didn't haul it in bounds. Actually, go double sneak here.
Here's 2nd down. Rush now. Escapes the pocket.
Got it away, but couldn't get it.
It definitely affected the throw. It's incomplete.
Yeah, that was a floater ball.
We've got 3rd down. Throwing, Rush.
Come on, CD. Get away.
And he harmlessly knocks it away. Incomplete.
Let's just call it. I don't want to get aggressive
another
here.
punch, which brings Brian Anger back to the field. First punt win 45 yards. This looks considerably further.
And
this
the
is
inside comes back.
taking a bounce into the...
Oh well. Commanders really struggling to move the ball. We're already in the 4th quarter. So it's still 7-0. So our defense have played above their heads in the last game of the season. Turpin. Okay, that was a bad throw on 3rd down too. It's 4th down now.
That's just simply great.
But they're going to let us kick a 64-yarder with Brandon Aubrey. I don't know if he's got the leg for this, but we'll see. And he got it. Brandon Aubrey is money. We got the good thing about this rebuild is that we've got arguably the best kicker in the NFL, so we can kick from anywhere. Meanwhile, Washington did get a touchdown to trim this thing to 3.
1st and 10 now from the 30.
There's 3 minutes to go. I'm just kind of going to get a little conservative here and run the ball if we can. Just let Zeke and Rico kind of try to finish this off.
On that previous snap, and I think we can all agree not what any of us were hoping to see
let's
as we
go
close out this
here.
regular season. Rush looking to pass.
Oh, Lamb got jammed.
That's incomplete. Trying to get that one to CeeDee Lamb. And we'll see what they do here on 2nd down.
Let's just run the ball. Let me just not get too cute and funky. Let's just be conservative. We'll run it. Get what we can. All right, but now we got to get this first. Can't give. I don't want to.
Back to throw it.
Come on, Mingo, make that catch. Jonathan Mingo, yes. Nice first down, man. Great job, Jonathan. Let's go. Let's go. Now we're at the 2-minute warning. That was a big first down. Good throw by Rush. Good route by Mingo. We got a first down. Now we got a chance to really start putting this thing on ice. All right. Washington's got all 3 timeouts left, but if we just start running the football and burn the rest of this clock. Eagles are watching, hoping we help them win the NFC East. I think they're going to get their wishes up there in Philadelphia. They just took their first timeout. That run actually got us on the outside of the red zone here. So there we go, Rico. Let's run hard. Keep running hard. There we go. He's got over 50 yards rushing in this game, so not a bad day, considering our running game has really been kind of dormant most of the season anyway. But but
Second
it is
down
what it
now,
is.
7 to go.
7.
They give it to him again. And once again, he
Power run
doesn't
there,
manage
4-yard
much
gain.
before getting brought
So they have
down.
no timeouts left now.
Final timeout taken
If we
by
pick
the
up this
Commanders.
first down, game's over.
All plays on
Game's
the table
over, pick
here for
this up.
3rd and 3.
All right, guys, let's pick this up. Come on.
This is Elliott.
See, come on.
Right.
Oh, inches short.
The marker, maybe a yard away.
All right. Well, you know what? We are in field goal range. All right. Well, let's line up to kick it. We're going to go ahead and kick the field goal. I don't want to go for it, risk anything. So I'm going to actually let this clock tick down. I'm going to call a timeout with like 1 second left on that play right now.
The Cowboys signaling for their first timeout.
Just wanted to burn as much time as I possibly can so that way they don't. Oh, McCarthy is flipping the script. He wants us to go. He wants us to go for it and end the game right here. Okay. See, come on. Do one more thing as a Cowboy. Get the. It's over. It's over. We're gonna beat the Commanders. Wow. Roll the dice. 4th and inches. Game over. Time to take quarterback knees. Cooper Rush. Got a win for us to end the season against the Commanders. Possibly might have knocked them out of the playoffs, put Philadelphia in, at least made Philadelphia win the NFC East. Played spoiler here today at home. It wasn't pretty. We only scored 1 touchdown in this game, but it was enough to win. The defense, I'll tell you what, based on what this game transpired to be, they played above their heads. Micah and company limiting Dan Quinn's attack to 1 touchdown. That's big.
And they end the season on a great note, Brock, with a
so we're going to end the season on a positive note. We're going to finish the season 6-11. I don't know how high of a draft pick that's going to get us, and obviously we did ourselves no favors by winning this game. But it's just a sense of pride. I'll tell you what, I was impressed with Jonathan Mingo's performance today. I think he played pretty well. I mean, I know this is only the first game that I've had a chance to play with him. But he made some good plays. CeeDee Lamb did his deal. He had the only touchdown catch of the game, and I'm pretty sure that gives him well over 1,000 yards for the season. So maybe a Pro Bowl nod for him, possibly Micah. We'll see. I didn't think that was a touchdown at first. I thought he stepped out of bounds at the 1, but they called him in. Let's take a look at player stats from this game. As far as us, Rush didn't have that bad of a game. 180 yards, no interceptions. He had a touchdown pass. Running actually wasn't that bad for Rico Dowdle. He had 13 carries, 58 yards. Zeke had 5 for 28, including that big 4th and inches run. No rushing TDs. Jalen Tolbert actually led us in receiving yards with 57. Lamb only had 53 of them, but that was still pretty good. Mingo, he put in work today. Averaged 12 yards a catch, no touchdowns. Ferguson had 2 for 34. Defense-wise, Hooker, do we have any sacks in this game? Micah had 1 sack. Of course, we didn't have any interceptions, but the defense held their own. So overall, solid way to end the season, considering everything that's happened. But now it's time to go all in. For real, though. Well, let's see what happened with the playoffs. Did we play spoiler and knock? Yeah, we knocked Washington out of the playoffs. We put Philadelphia in. They're the only NFC East team in the postseason this year. So first year of the rebuild is like this. We got the Lions against the Cardinals, the Eagles against the Packers, the Saints against the Seahawks. The 49ers have the bye. Chiefs have the bye. And in the AFC, we got the Jets and the Bengals, the Jaguars and the Colts. A little bit surprised there. No Texans. And we've got the Ravens and the Bills. So that is the playoffs in year 1 of the rebuild. So, let me actually take a look at mock draft 3 for right now, because at this point, the season is over for us. We have the 9th overall pick. They're projecting us to take Luther Burden. That's not what we're looking for. So the top quarterback projected to go first is Quinn Ewers to the Browns at number 6. Hey, just like my Browns rebuild when I drafted Ewers. What other QBs are out here? Well, Travis Hunter is projected to go 11 to the Panthers, but we don't need a corner. That's the thing. Like, we could get him as a luxury, but we don't need a corner. We don't need a corner or receiver, really. Ashton Genie, of course, is somebody I drafted in the other Cowboys rebuild I tried to do, but with where we're picking and based on what I want to do with our quarterback situation, obviously this could very well change. They're going to come out with mock drafts during the offseason based on kind of how free agency goes, and then what we do, of course, will dictate how they project the mock draft to be. Well, first things first, we got to take care of. I got to take a look at some staff moves here. I want to see who got fired. Okay, so looks like Bears and Bucks got Stefanski got fired. Brian Dable actually got fired. Well, the Lions are in the playoffs, so the fake Ben Johnson, he wasn't fired or anything. D'Amico Ryans got fired actually. Now I hired him to be the new head coach, and Sean McVay got fired. Ooh, boy. Okay, all right. Listen. Mike McCarthy, get the F out of here. Sean McVay, get to Dallas. We brought in a real offensive guru to improve this team. Let's do a couple, but I also want to get some upgrades for our assistant coaches as well. So let's upgrade these guys a little bit. What about player personnel? Can we upgrade anything here? We don't have enough points for that. But we hired Sean McVay as our new head coach. West Coast zone run, vertical zone run, 4-3 under. So, yeah. So let me see what that kind of did with the scheme setup for our players. Didn't really adjust too much with the offense, but defensively, what did it do, if anything? Well, it didn't really adjust too much there. So, yeah. All right, then. Well, Sean McVay, new head coach in Dallas. I'm going to keep the coordinators because I don't really think there's any big merit to getting rid of those guys. So we're going to have Sean McVay come in as our new head coach. Definitely needed to make a change at the in coaching because after a season like that, McCarthy, get out of here. It's time for you to go, sir. All right. Well, we took care of business there. Let's go ahead and simulate through the rest of the postseason, and we will see what happens. I'll take a look at the recap of the postseason at the end. So it's Pro Bowl week. I do want to take a look and see if any of our Cowboys made the Pro Bowl this year. See if we had anybody make it. Hunter Lipke, our fullback, made the Pro Bowl. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Juszczyk didn't make it. Well, the 49ers went to the Super Bowl, and then they wouldn't have Juszczyk play. They might have, I don't know. CeeDee Lamb didn't make it, but Jake Ferguson made the Pro Bowl, so he made the Pro Bowl for the second year in a row. So congratulations to him. Did we have any offensive linemen make it? Looks like Zach Martin didn't make it, so therefore we had none. Micah Parsons, of course, made it. 98 overall, no surprise. Pro Bowl for the up-team straight time. Do we have any defensive backs make it? I don't think we would. No. We didn't even have Brandon Aubrey make it. So we had Ferguson, and we had Lipke, our fullback, and DeMarcus Lawrence made the Pro Bowl this year. So we had three guys make the Pro Bowl. Two of them I was surprised made it. Okay, so let's take a look at the playoff bracket. Let's see who's playing in the Super Bowl. It's the 49ers and the Bills. Wow. So the Bills beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead to get to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1993. So the Bills have finally gotten over the hump with Josh Allen, and they're in the Super Bowl. All right, NFC playoffs. The Cardinals beat the Lions on the road, so that's a pretty big upset if you ask me. The Eagles, they beat the Packers. the Saints beat the Seahawks, and then the Eagles went and beat the Saints, and then the 49ers beat the Cardinals, so an NFC West matchup renewed, and then the Eagles got their, and then the 49ers got their revenge on the Eagles in the NFC Championship game after a few years ago. They beat them to get to the Super Bowl. AFC side, the Bengals blow out the Jets in what may be the final game of Aaron Rodgers' career. I think he'll retire after something like this, a beat down that bad, where they weren't even competitive. And the Jaguars, they beat the Colts. The Bills beat the Ravens in the wild card round. Then they beat the Jaguars on the road. And then the Chiefs beat the Bengals. So Patrick Mahomes got the best of Joe Burrow, but not Josh Allen this time. So it's the 49ers and the Bills in the Super Bowl. And that is what we are looking like for year one of the rebuild. So let's take a look at yearly awards. It looks like that Mahomes won MVP. He did. Allen finished second. Coach of the year, Robert Saleh. Wow, but I know it's for regular season, but what a terrible showing in the wild card round. All right, NFC. Offensive Player of the Year, Ray McLeod? Okay. Defensive Player of the Year, Fred Warner. No Cowboys in rec. Wait, good. Micah Parsons finished 8th for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC, so that's not too bad. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I don't think we had anybody. Defensive Rookie of the Year, no. Best QB. Dak finished 9th, despite the fact that he was injured, and didn't play the rest of the season after the Falcons game. But he finished 9th for best QB still, best running back. No Cowboys, best receiver. CeeDee Lamb finished 6th. Best offensive lineman. Zach Martin finished 7th. Best defensive lineman, nobody. Best linebacker. It was actually Greenard. Jonathan Greenard finished, wow, I don't know who that is. Micah finished 2nd. Best DB, no Cowboys. Best kicker, no sign of Brandon Aubrey either. That's surprising. Nobody really in contention for any awards except for really Micah for best linebacker in the NFC, but he finished 2nd, so he didn't even win that. All right, let's take a look and see who wins the Super Bowl. Let's get to the offseason and see what happens. All right, 2024 season recap. And the Bills have won the Super Bowl for the first time in their history. Tim Russert, enjoy it from heaven. So, if y'all know what I'm talking, if you're a Bills fan, you know what I'm talking about. So the Bills win their first Super Bowl. They beat the 49ers. The MVP of the Super Bowl is Josh Kelly, and they've won it for the first time. And looks like Mahomes also walked away with the Offensive Player of the Year. The Defensive Player of the Year went to Greg Rosenthal for the Bills. Not surprising, considering they went to the Super Bowl and won it. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Malachi Corley of the Jets, and the Defensive Rookie of the Year was Braden Fisk of the Rams. Some names I'm not too familiar with, but okay. All right, well, let's check out the retirements. I want to see, did we have any retirements? So Zach Martin has not retired. Eric Kendricks did. I'm a little surprised, but still. C.J. Goodwin retired, and Linville Joseph retired. Well, none of these guys we were going to bring back anyway, but because of that, I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get Zach Martin to come back for one more season while we try to rebuild. This is our last chance to negotiate with players. We got $53 million. First things first, let's take care of accepting the fifth-year option from Mr. Tyler Smith. And Zach Martin, can you give us one more season? Happy to sign. Great. Got $32 million left. Bell has actually gotten a little bit more enthusiastic about coming back. Let me see if I can get him to come on a neutral deal now. All right, so we got him to come back. I know that might have been a waste, but what I'm planning on potentially doing, and also because he fits the scheme better, maybe Donovan Wilson may be a guy we consider letting walk. Maybe trading away, trying to get some capital. Okay, but everybody else, let me just do one more check, make sure that I'm not. Yeah, everybody else can go ahead and go. And we're saving a pretty decent chunk of change with letting Odigizua and DeMarcus Lawrence walk because I feel like we can get better at those positions. Sam Williams is going to come back next season off the ACL, so that's going to really help us out when it comes to rebuilding this defensive line. Okay, alrighty then. So first of all, let me just check and see how much cap space we have to spend in free agency. It's 27. That's not much. That's not much. It really isn't. Okay, so let's... It's time. Dak Prescott. Who needs a quarterback? The Bears need one, but they just got killed. I think the Broncos would be a good candidate. So can they afford to take on Prescott? First round pick straight up in this year's draft. Oh, put us over the salary cap. Eek. Okay, well, let's keep trying. The Bucks, they probably don't have enough cap space to take this on either. Put us over the salary cap. Maybe they could give us maybe they could give us a player, a really good player. Okay, can we get Vita Vea in this trade? Don't feel it brings enough value. Okay, all right then. Well, how about Dak and a first round pick for next season? What about that? Still declined. Okay. Okay, can we is there maybe another player that we could, trade that we don't value as much? Maybe like somebody who's a little bit less. What about Tolbert? Would you guys take Tolbert off of us? Still declined. This offer just isn't going to cut it. We're going to need significantly more compensation. Okay, well, I think Tolbert is a decent option. What about Donovan Wilson also in this trade? Would you guys take him off of our hands as well? This trade declined. Okay, well, let's actually take Tolbert off the list, and let's actually offer let's put another pick on the board. What about a third-round pick for this season? Still declined. And need significantly more compensation. Wow. Okay. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, I think we can think. Let's keep looking at let's maybe look at another player. Let's put Tolbert back on there. Still declined. Wow. All right, maybe there's a better player than Tolbert we could add to this board. Schoonmaker wouldn't spoon anybody. Yeah, they're not going to take our backup right tackle. But Stills, I know we just traded for him. Still declined. Okay. Okay, let's take Stills out of there. Let's take the third round pick off of there, and let's go. Jeez. Let's get I want that first rounder for next year. What about a third rounder for next year? Still declined. Okay. Hoo-wee. All right, let's re-add Tolbert. Let's see if this doesn't. Still declined. Ah, didn't mean to do that. All right, picks. I don't think so. You only have 3 players on the trade package. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, I think it's just going to have to be picks. Well, if we get that first round pick, okay. Let's try to redo this. Okay, all right. Let's take these players off the board. Not you, Dak. Let me place on the board. We got a first rounder for next season, a third rounder for next season, and you know what? Let's just do a second rounder for this year because we're going to have like 2 first round picks. Is this enough? Still declined. Jeez. Okay, well, okay, I think we're close. Tolbert. Still declined. Jeez. I guess we need to add one more pick. How about a 2026 fourth rounder? Still declined. Okay, all right then. Well, let's try just another team because I don't think this is going to cut it straight up. All right, so who else needs a quarterback? The Colts do. They don't have a lot of cap space, so we'll give y'all Dak. Y'all can give us like maybe Forrest Buckner and a first round pick. Let's start here. It'll put us over the salary cap. Okay, I think the Colts may be off the board because they have too much cap space. We're not trading in the division. Okay, the Eagles have a bunch, but I don't want to trade in the division. Oh, the Jaguars. They got Trevor Lawrence. I don't think they would need a QB. Panthers could use a QB, but ooh, okay, maybe the Patriots. Maybe the Patriots, okay. They have the first overall pick. Okay, let's start there. Let's just... Okay, obviously we're going to need to offer more. Okay, well, let's trade... Okay, we'll give you that, and we'll give you a first rounder for next season. Let's start there. Still declined. Okay, all right. All right, getting there. Still declined. Okay, well, can y'all give us maybe one of your... Okay, let's see some of their top players. We can use maybe one of these guys. I really need a corner. This right tackle actually looks pretty good. Mike... Still declined. Yeah, I don't think they're willing to part with him. Okay, we added a first rounder for next season. Go a third rounder next season. Still declined. Okay, I think we're just aiming a little bit too high with trying to get the number 1 pick from a team because I don't think the Patriots, it's going to be a hard bargain. Okay, but the Raiders need a quarterback. They have a lot of cap space too. Okay. Well, where are y'all picking? Y'all are picking 9th. Okay. Let's add our 10th pick to move up like 1 spot. How about that? It'll put us over the salary cap. Okay, all right. Well, hear me out, Raiders. Can you give me like one of your good players? Not Max Crosby. You guys are not going to give us Max Crosby. That's fine though. I know you guys are not going to give us him. Do they have any players maybe can like fit the scheme or something? Spillane, he's a new middle linebacker, but he's only a 79 overall. Their top guys are not really too intriguing. I mean, Wilkins, I think, could be a solid offer in the trade. Get a new left end. Still decline. It'll put them over the salary cap. A little bit surprised. Okay, well, we're just going to have to keep trying, I guess. Who else needs a QB? The Rams do. Who are they picking? They're picking 3rd overall. I don't know how much better we can make this. What about the 1st round pick? Okay, so it'll put them over the salary cap by just doing that alone. But will y'all give us rookie Fisk, who just won Rookie of the Year? I don't know if they'll do this, but let's see. Okay. I feel like they're close. I feel like this isn't too far away. What about a 2nd round pick for next season? It'll put us over the salary cap. Okay, whoa. Well, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. I knew that. Okay, let's go ahead and get this off the board. Let's keep trying some more teams. Ooh, the Saints need a QB, it looks like. They don't have enough. They barely have any cap room. I got to Pittsburgh. Where are they picking? But we would have to trade, but that would be us trading back. But it might not be the worst thing because it looks like there may be quarterbacks that go later. So. Okay, so let's give them our 10th pick. Let's start small. Put us over the salary cap. All right. Well, maybe we can take somebody away who's like eating up a lot of cap space. How about Highsmith? Put us over the cap. All right. Well, what about Highsmith? And Joey Porter Jr. It'll put us over the salary cap still. Okay. Not worth it with the Steelers. It's just too tough. They don't have a lot of cap space, Tennessee, so I'm not going to mess with them. Did I try the Broncos or did I not? I feel like I did, but there was just too much that was okay. The closest I got was with the Bucks. It was Vita Vea, and it was also their 1st round pick. This is the closest I feel like I got to being able to finally make it work. Put us over the salary cap. Okay, all right. Well, can we take somebody else away from you guys in terms of players? Monte David. Put us over the salary cap. Okay, David and I'll just like Trey Palmer. Oh boy. Strange that we got close with the Bucks before and now we can't. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. Let's start here. Okay, we'll put them over the cap, obviously. Who's got like a biggest cap hit on you guys? Looks like who has like the biggest cap hit for this year or something? Duggar, but we don't really need a strong safety. Hunter Henry's cap hit is pretty significant. I feel it brings enough value. Okay. We're going to need significantly more compensation. Okay. All right. Let's just go. Ferguson for him. I think Ferguson actually kind of broke the dam a little bit. All right, we're kind of going broke here, but first and second rounder in this draft. Wow, still not enough. Okay, what about a second rounder for next season? Still decline. Jeez. I don't know, guys. Let me see if maybe I can restructure like Dak's contract. Okay, well, we're actually not fully. I don't know when we get to the point of the offseason where we can restructure anything, but let me just see what I can do. Team salaries. Let me see if I can restructure some deals and see if that helps us out a little bit with maybe trading. Okay, well, we can't restructure CD's contract. Mike is Steele. Can we restructure that? Looks like we can't really do anything with that. All right, well, looks like we can't restructure any deals. All right, guys. Well, okay. I know I said what I was going to do, but I think it's just too hard for us to trade Dak for this first off season. It's too hard for us to do. But I am going to draft a quarterback in this year's draft. I don't know about a first rounder anymore, but maybe next year we'll be able to have enough cap space to be able to trade him. We'll finally start to get out of all this hole that we're in, so to speak. Okay, so realistically, we only have $27.9 million in cap space. In terms of help out here, running backs, there's not anybody really too great. And maybe with a new coach, it'll help us out a little bit. But I don't know. Let me see here. Okay, well, we need a running back. But you know what? I think I may just want to do that in the draft. All right, so let's just, with not sustaining, without, focusing on the QB, let's focus on, really position we need to upgrade. Obviously, we need a new running back. We could obviously go with Genie in the draft, of course. But I think we need to sign at least another running back for depth reasons in a free agency if we can afford it. Receiving-wise, we can draft some young receivers, but I think we're pretty good here. Tight ends, I think we're in pretty good shape. Offensive line, we're looking pretty good. We do need a backup center. Terrence Steele really is not that very good. I don't know. I think we can upgrade the right tackle position. Defensive end, 100%. We need to upgrade here. Ozzie Smith. We need defensive tackle help. Middle linebacker upgrades would not be bad. Right outside linebacker upgrades. Corners are looking pretty good. And safeties are looking pretty good. Marquise Bell, I think, is the better guy. But I think I still might want to trade away Donovan Wilson if we can. And maybe get some more picks. But I don't know. Okay. Sorry, I yawned. Let's see. What about right tackles? Rob Havenstein. He's not a scheme fit guy, but he could really help us out. That neutral deal put us in first place. If we get Havenstein, I think I'll trade away Terrence Steele. Don't know where, even if it's for a low pick, but we'll trade him somewhere, and we'll start to get him kind of off the books. Defensive ends. Oh, so it's actually the top guy. We do need another defensive tackle anyway. So I don't want to bring in somebody who's going to cost a lot. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't want to bring in somebody who's going to break the bank, somebody big, for Osa. It's maybe a downgrade in terms of like who we get. We're going to sign DJ Jones to be a stopgap veteran defensive tackle, give us some help there. We only have $2 million left, though. So you know what? I'm going to go lower on this, especially because we're running low on space already. So DJ Jones. More so, just what positions do we need depth at? I think that's really kind of the camp I'm in right now. What positions do we really need some depth pieces at? We do need a backup center, but we can get that in the draft. I think we can do that in the draft. Defensive end, yeah. We could get another left end. Defensive tackle help, we'll get that. I don't think there's any really significant middle linebackers or linebackers out there. So at least not anybody that's like a game changer for us that is really going to help us out like overnight. But okay, let's just take a look. Middle linebackers. not really much to be better than Overshown. So I'm going to probably let that kind of slide. What about left ends? Because obviously DeMarcus Lawrence is a free agent. We'll let him walk. Can bring back Goldstein after we traded him, but that would be pretty weird. Derek Barnett is out here. Fits our scheme. Let's go to low. Yeah, we don't have enough cap room to make that offer. Okay, all right. Well, hopefully Barnett will still be available. These are our only two targets of the offseason. We're targeting Havenstein and we're targeting DJ Jones, right tackle and a defensive tackle. For the first wave, this is all we're doing. Let's go ahead and advance. Hopefully we get these two guys and we can start making some other moves here. So let's see. Did we sign any of these guys? We got DJ Jones, so we got defensive tackle help, which is good. Oh, do we not get Havenstein? Havenstein went to the Cardinals. Oh, jeez. Well, all right. There's still not two bad guys out here. Well, they're not better than Terrence Steele. Havenstein was kind of really the guy I was hoping for. Okay, well, there's not really anybody too much better than Steele out here, so we lost out on Havenstein, so we're just going to go ahead and go with Steele for right now. It gave us some room that we could do more with the defensive end spots. Let's see if we can get Derek Barnett now. Cheap deal. Let's see if we can bring him in here. Derek Barnett, because we need a left end. Maybe now we can afford right outside linebacker is a little bit better. These guys don't really look too much better than what we have. But do we need depth or anything in any of those positions? I don't think we really do because I think we have because we got Clark and we got LaFau, I think, on the right side as of right now. Parsons, LaFau's actually left. Okay. So we do need depth at right outside linebacker. Clark's a 72. Got Overshown, Buddy Johnson, LaFau. Okay, we do need depth at right outside linebacker. Okay, so let's just get a guy that's not really too expensive to help us out over there. Right outside linebackers. Ngakwe. He's a little bit. He's an older guy, but get some of that veteran experience in here, and 68 overall. Come in here, hopefully give us a little bit of veteran experience. Well, we can afford to get a backup center if we really want to. We don't really need Connor McGovern. Let's bring in Cade Mays as our backup center. Team-friendly deal for 1 year. Let's bring him in. What about maybe just kind of like a backup running back? Just some guy that's like in the 70s. Not a guy to be a starter. Maybe Miles Sanders. We get him in here on a kind of cheap deal. Looks like we can. We're the only team who's interested in him. He's 28 years old, so that's not too old. So I think this is it for the next wave of targets. We're going to go Miles Sanders. We're going Derek Barnett. We're going Yannick Ngakoue and Cade Mays. No other teams are interested in any of these guys, so we should be able to land them, hopefully. And because we lost out on Havenstein, we're just going to stick with Terrence Steele. Doesn't mean I'm not going to look in the draft, but still. So let's see if we sign any of these guys. Okay, so we've got Derek Barnett, we got Ngakoue, and we got Cade Mays. Miles Sanders is still considering our offer, and I think that's really it. Let me go ahead and kind of check around on the roster and see if I'm missing on other positions that we need to fill just for depth. We obviously are going to be looking at a quarterback in the draft. There's no question about that. We got Lipke still here as a fullback. How much has he progressed? 71. Oh, that's not bad, but still. So we have depth on the offensive line at every position, which is nice. And other than, there weren't really too many upgrades over Terrence Steele after Havenstein that were significantly better. So I think it just may be a deal where if we don't find a solution in the draft, just go with that. Derek Barnett, I think, is a solid signing. Bridge player. He's our DeMarcus Lawrence replacement. Of course, he's younger, and we're going to go with him. We've got Nealon. We got Sam Williams, who's going to come back off the torn ACL next season. We, of course, still have Dante Stills, who we got in that trade with a bunch of picks. DJ Jones is basically a stopgap defensive tackle, but we still need to look at that in the draft. Like, I think a lot of these positions that I've got stopgap guys for, we still need to look in the draft for permanent solutions for them, and middle linebacker. Although I like Overshown, how much he progresses this season, we will see. Got Clark, and we got Ngakwe as his backup. We're pretty good at corner, but we could always use another one in the draft. We're good at free safety and strong safety. So I think because we got Marquise Bell, I want to see if I could potentially trade away Donovan Wilson. I think I still want to see if we can get a draft pick out of him. For what, I don't really know. But we'll see, like, if somebody needs a solid, strong safety. Well, the Colts could use... Well, they don't have a whole lot of cap space, though. That's the thing that kind of worries me. So we can still go to a team that has a lot of cap space and see what we can do there. Packers, they have a lot of cap space. We're just trying to get rid of Donovan Wilson. Could they give us maybe a third-round pick this year for him? I don't think they would take this, but let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Well, let's not get too crazy then. What about a fifth-round pick? Still declined. All right. Sixth-rounder. All right. So we got Donovan Wilson because, hey, we signed Marquise Bell. I feel like that at this point, Wilson is starting to regress. So let's go ahead and go full on with Marquise Bell. In previous rebuilds, I went ahead with Wilson instead of Bell, but I decided to go with that. So because of that, we had got an extra sixth-round pick in this year's draft. So I want to see if maybe instead of just, we're going to have the 10th overall pick, which is still a pretty solid place to be drafting. So now I want to kind of see what we can do now. So because we got rid of Donovan Wilson, I want to see if now we can sign a backup strong safety, really just for kind of a stopgap guy. Because we have Marquise Bell as our starter, so I just want to find somebody to back him up that's going to be a little bit cheaper. Somebody who's interested in coming here. Adrian Colbert. Let's bring him in on a one-year deal. So, yeah, we're going to bring him in on a one-year deal to be our backup strong safety because we traded away Wilson. We need depth there. So hopefully, I think this is the last bit we're going to do in free agency. I don't think we're going to try to trade away any other players. I think this is what we're going to go with. Looks like Stephon Diggs went to the Raiders. So, recap of free agency. Defensive tackle, DJ Jones. We got Miles Sanders. We got Derek Barnett, Yannick Ngakoue, Cade Mays, and Adrian Colbert. That is our free agency signing. We still have $11 million in cap space. Let me see now if because of the moves that we've made, if we can start restructuring contracts, because I don't know if we can yet. It looks like we can't. So I guess we're just going to have to wait until after the draft to be able to do that. But let me just take a couple more players to make sure that, okay, it looks like we can't. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so because of free agency, let me take a look at the roster and let me see, just trying to kind of talk myself through this, like what I want to do with the draft. Look, it's just unfortunate that we just can't trade away Dak Prescott. He's too expensive. The contract is ridiculous that no team wants to take on that contract. That's the deal that we're stuck in, even though it's 86 and, I want to move on to a different quarterback. We got it up. We got a stopgap running back. I mean, Miles Sanders is decent, but we need to get somebody new in there as our running back. If Genie, maybe we go with him again, or maybe Judkins from Ohio State, somebody like that. We really get an upgrade at running back, and we really move forward with that. I would be open to another receiver, maybe in the later rounds, depending on, BPA, best player available. Offensive line is okay. I don't really think we need to do too much investment in this as far as you ask me. We need help on the defensive end because Derek Barnett is only a stopgap. Nealon and Williams are very young guys. They still have a lot of years left on them. I need to see some progression, but I think getting a defensive end in the draft, whether it's a right end or a left end, is definitely a spot that I need to go. Defensive tackle, we just flat out need to get somebody really, really good. We need to get somebody for there. Left outside linebacker, we good. We could use depth behind Mike. I don't know about LaFau. Middle linebacker, open to. Right outside linebacker, open to. Corners, yeah. Free safety is okay with the two of these guys. I'm happy with Bell and Hooker being the guys, especially because both of them fit the scheme still. So I'm better going with that. I'm going to get rid of this kicker because I don't think that he's worth keeping on here. It's not worth keeping an extra kicker. So, yeah. All right, then. So that's what we're going to go with probably in the draft. So now it's just time to get into it, get into the draft, and really see what we can do. All right. Time to start the draft.
Every career starts.
All right. And we have the 11th overall pick. It's time to make our selection. First pick of the rebuild. Well, I think Judkins, get a running back for this first year. That's the solution. A-. Excellent pick. Number 3 in true value, drafted 10. Ankle-breaking juke moves, possesses elusive spin move, shows good balance to run through tackles. Cool. Second round pick. Looks like there's not really any decent QBs here. We could get Genie who slipped, but we don't really need that. There's another running back here that's pretty good. But, Malachi Moore out of Alabama doesn't look too bad either. And he fits our scheme. We're going to go with Moore, free safety of Alabama. Good pick. Be trusted. Zone coverage. Does he have NFL speed? Okay. Third round pick. Jalen Walker out of Georgia, solid right outside linebacker. Yeah, this is a good pick here. Average pick. Okay. Well, we'll see later. This left guard doesn't look too bad. Well, we need to draft a quarterback. His talent says potential undrafted, but we're going to take a gamble and draft Jackson Dart and stick him on the bench as a possible future. Not a cannon, but shows zip-on throws, average intermediate accuracy. Yep, Dak, we are putting the heat on you, my friend. I know it was a fourth-round pick, just like you were, but still. Some of these receivers are not looking too bad. What about defensive? Maybe this right tackle. Xavier Truss. This may be a reach, but I'm going to go with him. We need some offensive line depth also. But that's our first bad pick of the draft. 6th round. At this point, I think we got to start looking at some defensive ends, defensive end players. Is there anybody here that's not Like, there's this defensive tackle, Howard Cross the third at Notre Dame. He fits our scheme. We're going to go with him. Average pick. Okay, so that's better than bad. So we got a new defensive tackle. That's one position I haven't, addressed yet. Let's go ahead, and I think I really want to get a defensive end in this draft. Picking positions that we need. This left end. Oh, Elijah Roberts of SMU. Hometown kid. Let's go with him. Average pick. All right, average isn't bad. Didn't have a whole lot of picks in that draft to begin with, but that's it. That is our draft. So let's check out the draft recap for year one. First pick, 10th overall, Quinshawn Judkins at running back from Ohio State. Malachi Moore was our second-round pick, free safety out of Alabama. We drafted Jalen Walker, right outside linebacker out of Georgia in the third round. Fourth-round pick, Jackson Dart of Ole Miss. Sticking him on the bench as our backup quarterback when maybe we finally are able to trade Dak and we don't have to worry about the cap penalties and all that. Xavier Truss out of Georgia. We drafted him at right tackle. Potential replacement for Terrence Steele. Howard Cross, defensive tackle from Notre Dame. Hopefully he can develop a little bit. These guys' ratings are not very good. And Elijah Roberts, SMU, right out left end. So that is our draft for year one. Let's adjust our roster here, and let's see how everything's kind of looking. Jackson Dart's wearing 2, just like he did in college, so that's already good. 67 overall, and he's not even a scheme-fit quarterback, but still. So Judkins wore number 4 at Ohio State, and I think at Ole Miss he wore the same number. So I don't know what I can get him to wear. Maybe something in the 20s. Maybe like 24. Let's just go with 24 for right now. So Judkins, he'll wear 24 for us. He's an 80 overall starting out as a rookie. So that's really good. And Miles Sanders is going to back him up. So our running back room, massive upgrade this offseason. We got an 80 and we got a backup 73 running back. Fullback-wise, we're good. We didn't draft a receiver, but with Jonathan Mingo, I feel like that almost kind of counts as a pick because that was a fourth rounder that we didn't have this year. And we got Ferguson and Schoonmaker, and we got a couple of tight ends, that are, not too, significant, but they're there. They're just guys, really. We drafted that right tackle, Xavier Truss. Let me see what his number was at Georgia. Xavier Truss. 70, what's his number? 73? Okay. Well, he'll stay with 74 for now. Because of this, should we maybe kick somebody? We can kick somebody over to right tackle, but I don't know. I mean, he's starting out at 64, so yeah. Barnett, we have Elijah Roberts starting out as a 66. Not too significant, but still. Is what it is. What's Elijah Roberts' number at SMU? I forgot already. He's number 5. Well, that's Brian Anger's number. He can wear 92. So we got Nealon and we got Sam Williams coming back. So depth-wise at defensive end, I think I want to kind of, I don't know. I think for depth, everything here is still pretty solid. I don't think I really need to make significant changes. Howard Cross, we're hoping he can be the future on the defensive tackles as a defensive tackle, but we'll see. He wears 56, but he'll wear 96, so that's going to be these numbers. So 66, 72, and 676. So we didn't really draft somebody who could be a bona fide starter per se, but we did what we could. We didn't draft a middle linebacker. We did draft a right outside linebacker. We got Jalen Walker from Georgia. We drafted a couple of Georgia Bulldogs this year. He wears number 11. That's Micah's number, so he'll wear 53 this season. We got Ngakwe, corners. We didn't do anything there. Malachi Moore actually now becomes better than Malik Hooker. Okay, so that, let's add Hooker to the trade block. I don't know what we can get for him, but I think it's worth adding him to the trade block because Malachi Moore, I think, looks like he's going to be ready to take over. Alabama. He wears number 13. That's Overshown's number. He'll wear 29 for this season. So Booker's still here, but I don't know for how much longer if he slips up a little bit. We got Bell as the starter. We got Aubrey. We got Anger. Okay. Well, I like this squad. I like the way it looks for now. And then again, Dak Prescott injury, bounce back year, whatever you want to call it. That may be just the way that we kind of move forward in terms of this team. But we will see. We've added Malik Hooker to the trade block. I think that's somebody we can probably get off the books now if Malachi Moore is going to be what he's going to be. So we will see. So that is year one of the Cowboys rebuild. I know that, I've done this before, and I've done some similar moves kind of like I did in the first rebuild. But like I said, the glitching thing is what really got me upset. The depth chart was all messed up, and I couldn't fix it. So hoping this time around that doesn't happen again, but we will see. If it does, I'll power through it and see what I can do. No trade of Dak in the first offseason. I tried my hardest. Y'all saw the struggles that I had with trying to trade him. It's just hard to trade Dak Prescott in Madden and it's hard to trade a lot of Dallas Cowboys because of the contracts that they have when you start up this franchise mode. They're ridiculously huge, and you're going to have a tough time getting the contract off the books and not putting somebody else in salary cap hell. So anyway, but thank y'all for watching. I'm going to pick up the Cleveland Browns rebuild, possibly maybe this evening, tomorrow. We'll see. Depends on what I want to do. Like I said, I'm actually still kind of exhausted from going out last night after work. Like I said, I had to wake up early this morning, so I might rest a little bit the rest of the day. But y'all will know soon enough. Now, I want to talk about College Football 25. I don't know when I'm going to resume the Texas Tech Dynasty. I haven't done a Dynasty video on that game in probably almost a month, maybe a little bit more. I probably will pick that up a little bit later because, like I said, I don't really know what else I want to do with College Football 25 at this point right now on my channel, but you guys will know soon enough. And I know I mentioned that in a couple of videos in the past. But thank y'all for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.